In this video, we're going to give you two different methods for sharpening curved gouges. Okay, so the first method then that we're going to show you is using the little slipstones, and you can also use an oil stone. That's really more for straight chisels, but we will explain that you can use that as well. So Dad is just going to explain the method then that he would use to sharpen on an oil stone. Just to explain as well, this is the cheaper of the two methods that we're going to show you, and we put a link in the description below, so you can see where you can buy things like the slipstone from.
Just a spot of oil, and we're looking for, when you put into the light, you'll just see like a little silver bit. You can see where you need to sharpen. You get the angle, you squeeze the oil until you're right at the tip, and then you just nice and
so the basic
slowly.
Method, you're rocking the gouge from side to side,
yeah,
and moving the stone around.
and as you do it, you'll see the oil creeping up because you're right on the tip, and it starts clear color, and as you keep sharpening, the oil actually turns black.
In terms of the gouge then, what are we actually looking for in the gouge?
We're trying to remove that blunt silver line, and we're looking then for what we would call the burr.
Okay, so what is the burr? Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, it's as we get to the top, your one of your little fingertip there, you run that finger down there now. You tell me, can you feel?
So we can just, on the inside, we can just feel a rough edge.
Yeah, not quite there.
So that is what you're building up then, by using the oil stone. You're building a burr.
That's right, you see,
on
look,
the
the black
inside
now,
of
the black now is just creeping up there. So I know that I'm right at the edge. I'm not putting much pressure on there. It's a gentle, I'm just keeping it very gently. I'm not really pushing hard.
So it's a process that it requires a little bit of patience.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing then, we're building that burr on the inside. So you've got to find that grinding angle, and then just go a little bit above, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
and
there.
then get that burr
So
on the inside.
over, so I know now. I've sharpened right across. I've got that burr.
So is that gouge ready to use now?
No, because I've got the burr, I've got to remove the burr.
Okay, so how do you go about removing the burr off the
now
inside?
this is where you be careful, because you make sure you put your chisel on there flat. You don't want to do that. You go flat, and you just go 1, 2.
So the reason for holding it flat is
because you don't want to, you've sharpened there, you want that edge right at the top. You don't want to go down and take that sharp bit off.
So what would you be doing? You'd be changing the edge then, would you?
You'd be blunting what
you're
just
actually
done.
blunting what you do. So you've got to keep it flat.
Take that down there now, but you see, you feel that now. The burr's gone. So I only went down there twice, right? Cleaned it with the cloth, and then
and it feels sharpened.
Yeah, and in the old days, you would strop it on your hand. I don't recommend that because you're going to get oil into your skin.
And there's always the chance of nicking yourself and cutting
so
yourself.
What we would do now, we would just, like so, on our...
So you're stropping it on your trousers.
You're just stropping it. And sometimes you would just take, like so, you would just go at the end of the bench just to make sure you got that. And you could just feel now, nice, you feel.
So, I mean, another thing we put a link to, because you can actually buy a leather strop And that is a good way then of finishing as well, isn't it? Is to use a leather strop. So yeah, we can feel already there's a good bit of difference on the cutting edge there. Myself, I've always done it slightly differently because I'm a little bit more concerned about ripping my trousers than Dad. So what I actually do is I've always got a cloth, but as I said, you can get a leather strop, which is really actually made for this job.
Can I just mention as well,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a flat stone that we would use obviously for the flat chisels.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to sharpen that one, for instance, you do that on the flat. But if you haven't got a slipstone at the moment,
Yeah.
I mean, you could, again, get a little spot of oil on the edge there. You could use the same method with a flat stone.
Flat stone.
Okay.
There is something you have to be aware of, though, isn't it? If you do use a flat stone,
To do that.
if you use a flat stone for this, it's good to have a separate stone, isn't it, for doing curved gouges and straight chisels, because
Definitely.
what happens, the curved gouges, they put a little groove in there. So what happens when you put a flat chisel on, it won't sharpen, because it'll sharpen on the edges but not across, because there's a groove in the stone. The second method that we use for sharpening, and the big difference with this one, it's the price. When Dad first explained to me that he was going to buy this one here, the Tormek, initially I thought it sounded very expensive, but it is a very good piece of equipment, and it definitely makes a big difference to the sharpness of your gouge. So that's the sort of issue with it. Dad's now going to run through the method of how to use it and some of the sort of accessories that there are for it as well. So over to you.
Here we are. It's the same principle as I explained with sharpening with the slipstone. When you angle you're looking at the top there, and you can actually see there's a silver line at the top, and that's telling me that chisel isn't blunt. It is blunt, and so I need to remove that silver line on the top. So there's water in the base. As we turn it on,
so this one here, this is the whetstone.
This is the whetstone. Yeah,
Okay.
like the old-fashioned one. We used to have a big handle, and you turn that big whetstone.
Now, before you turn it on, though, this bar here, what is that there for?
Okay, normally you'd have these different fixtures.
So you can buy these jigs then.
Yeah, and you'd put that in.
So you
in
can
the
actually
jig,
clamp that in
like
the
so,
jig.
clamp it on, and then you get your angle. But because that's one of the jigs for straight chisels.
There are other ones as well, aren't there?
Yeah, you've got this one then that would be fixed. These are more for gouges.
So that
so,
sort of rocks to side to side.
This would be fitted so you can you would get that in there, and you'd get it on a certain sort of angle, and you'd be able to alter it in principle the same way. But I like to use it without any attachments. I just like to use it freehand. Now that's running in the water, so we again are looking for the sharpening angle, and I'm moving it all the way across the stone. So I've made a start. It's getting my angle correct, and I'm looking for that burr. We'll have a look, see if we're doing okay on the back. Yeah, we're not far away.
The less you can take off, the better.
So we got that burr on there now. So what the tool maker recommended is a little bit of cutting paste, and we just put this now. This is a leather wheel, so it would be the same as if you had a leather strop.
We've come across the other side of the Tormek now, so can you just explain to everyone what are these parts to it here?
Okay, we've got three leather ones actually. leather wheels here, and I'm just putting a bit of cutting paste on the leather stops. That one is for that side, and this one is for the outside. So one for the outside, one for the inside.
So this one here, that's actually polishing the back of the gouge.
Yeah.
And then these two here, they're for dealing with the burr on the insides.
Yeah.
So the same sort of process as we showed with the slipstones. So just for everybody to see, we're going to demonstrate with those 3 gouges, now that they've been sharpened, we're going to demonstrate for you how they are actually cutting.
Okay, so we're going to see if they're actually sharp. So 1, 2, yeah, you can hear it cutting. It's cutting nicely, that is.
So are you happy that that's sharp?
It's not too bad, fair play. Yeah, that's nice.
Well, I'm happy
with
because
that.
that's the one that I did.
The first one, and now we go. Oh yes, much better. That's the one I did. So,
so I've still got some practicing to do.
Oh, definitely. But you can hear it cut in lovely.
And the third one done on the Tormek.
Yeah. This is a lovely chisel again. As you can see. There's not a tremendous amount of effort, you see, and that's cutting. And then cross grain, look. You can hear, and look at the lovely clean cut there now, look at that.
So there you have it. That is a video showing you 2 methods that we use to sharpen curved gouges. That's been done especially for Mike. He requested that video, so we hope that will prove useful to you, Mike. Any questions from yourself or anybody else, feel free to put them in the comments section below. If anybody else wants any other videos as well, feel free to ask us. Other little things as well that we did forget to mention, there's a Tormek that they do a paste that we use on that honing wheel. So that's something, if anyone is thinking of investing in that, as I said, we put different links for things like the slipstone for where you can buy equipment like that. We hope you've enjoyed our video. If you have, put a like on it. Remember, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and ring that bell so you'll know when we upload another video. But thank you all again for watching, and we'll be back again soon with more ideas on love spoon carving and woodwork in general. Thank you all again.